alright.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Yo guys, what is up? Monstercat Borderlands 3 video, and today we're talking about updated Amarageddon. Now this build has received some serious tweaks. Before it was struggling with the old setup. I've completely rehauled it, and it is so good. It's so much fun to play. If you guys do enjoy the build and the video, be sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. It does help me out a lot. I appreciate it, guys. And with that, let's get right into the video. Alright, so showing on screen right now is the updated skill tree for Amarageddon. Now, there's some big changes here, and one of the biggest changes that we're going to talk about is our change in weapon. Now, this build primarily, before this, used the Shrieking Devil. Now, the Shrieking Devil is still good. It is still strong on this build, but it can't really compete with the Complex Root. Now, you guys know the Complex Root. I made videos on it, and most of you have probably seen that when you have area of effect damage as a roll on your artifact, or if you have area effect damage anywhere, it makes the root basically do this enormous explosion that lights up your entire screen. And this is because of our area of effect roll on our artifact. So one of the first things that you guys need is you need to have area of effect roll on your artifact, and you need a root for this build. Now, we are going a full radiation setup, meaning that we are going to be only doing radiation damage. And that is because this explosion is very easy to hit us and kill us. Now, the reason this does not work with the Transformer, because I know you guys are going to ask this. I'm going to explain it, but I'm still going to see comments of it. I guarantee you. This does not work with the Transformer because the Transformer's bonus shock damage does not protect you from self-damage a lot of the time. Not every single shot, but a lot of the time, if you were rocking bonus shock damage and a shock root, which is what I'm going to use. I'm going to use a shock root here. You will just kill yourself. So let's see. And it doesn't, if you're not proccing your ASCs, you won't. So if, like, for example, if I jump into this, I'm fine, right? Totally fine. Proc my ASCs, meaning that now I get this bonus shock damage, shoot this, and I'm dead. So that is why we are not using shock. That is why this is a full radiation build. I know that shock would be cool, but it doesn't work. So we're going into a full radiation setup. Now, with this radiation setup, we are using the Red Suit Shield. Red Suit Shield is going to give us immunity to radiation damage. It works just like the Transformer, except it doesn't recharge when we shoot it. So we do need to have some health, because we're not going to be healing ourselves by shooting ourselves, but we will be immune to it. Now, one thing that is really cool about this is, one, the Red Suit Shield is going to protect us, and any self-damage, even if it is self-damage, will actually heal us with sustainment. So while you may not be able to heal your shield directly, you will be able to heal yourself with sustainment, which gives this build a fair amount of tankiness, which is pretty cool. Now, in terms of our skill tree, it looks a little weird. So, few things that I need to explain here. First off, we cannot go Infusion, and you cannot go Forceful Expression. If you spec Forceful Expression, or if you spec into Infusion, either or is going to kill you. If you're doing any other damage that is not radiation damage, you will kill yourself, you will down yourself. That's why we can't spec Infusion, and that's why we can't go Forceful Expression. Because we can't go all the way down to Forceful Expression, that opens up a lot of possibilities in terms of where our points go. Now, we still have a pretty classic standard blue tree, with a big addition of picking up From Rest, which is going to give us fire rate and charge time. That works tremendously with the Complex Root and also the Shrieking Devil, so that we can charge up super quick. I found I didn't really need 3 points there. I felt 2 was just fine, especially with trying to maintain my accuracy while firing these things. So I put 2 here. If you want to go 3, you totally can, but 2 felt pretty solid to me. Now, we're moving points over, because we're not going into this red tree, into the green tree. We're getting personal space for that bonus damage. We're going to be running around and blowing everything up. We're going to be using Root to Rise for more health, and Arms Deal is an awesome pickup here. It's going to give us increased splash damage. All of the weapons that we're going to be using are splash damage and also splash damage reduction. Now, splash damage reduction doesn't really matter for us because we're immune to our own damage, but just as a general tankiness to the build, it's pretty great. Now, the big interaction here and why this works so well and why you are able to achieve such crazy clear speed with this is because of the Root's interaction with Indiscriminate and Ties That Bind. Now, in my original video, I showcased this and I talked about how when you're using Ties That Bind and you're using... Oh, please don't kill me. When you're using Indiscriminate and when you're using Ties That Bind, that you basically create new projectiles. So Indiscriminate is going to ricochet our projectiles, right? We're going to increase our chance when we're using Ties That Bind. Ties That Bind is also going to share damage between enemies. When you link enemies with Ties That Bind and you have Indiscriminate active, this shot that's like one projectile that sends out all these other ones, if it procs Indiscriminate, will trigger a whole nother set of projectiles. Not just like one of those little things, but that this entire shot and explosion gets repeated. When you have multiple enemies in Ties That Bind, you're going to be getting this effect amplified, leading to basically a full screen nuke. Your whole screen will light up and everything around you will pretty much die. Thankfully, because we're immune, we do not die, but you're going to be nuking entire squids. That's why I put the eye warning kind of at the beginning of the video. This build, after a while, kind of reminds me of like Flame of the Firehawk Krieg. It can lead to hurting your eyes because of just how bright these explosions are and how often they're going to be going off. But the build is crazy cool to play, so I wanted to showcase it for you guys. In terms of modifiers, my modifiers right now are weird, but you could use Roguelite. You could use minus 75% crit, not the face, because we're not really caring too much about our crit damage. What critting thinks is cool. Everything's just kind of going to be exploding, so not in the face is fine. I usually run Speed Demon with this build just so I can be fast and get around quickly. Speed Demon works great. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this, but we are using the Phaserker comp. This was the Phaserker roll that I had, so not great. The main thing you're going to be looking for on this is splash damage. That's the best thing that you could find on your Phaserker, so I have that. But things like weapon damage, things like splash damage radius, things like action skill cooldown, mag size would all be really good, but splash damage is the main thing they're looking for. The one thing that is cool is with the Shrieking Devil, it was kind of hard to get a dot on ourselves. It wouldn't happen that often, especially because the Shrieking Devil only has 12% chance when we're using the complex root, and it has this 36% chance, and we're getting this full screen nuke. You're almost always going to be dotting yourself with it. Almost always going to be dotting yourself because we're using an elemental projector. That's going to, because we're going to be always dotted, and we're using Anima to extend that dot, and we're immune to that dot, we are able to dish out some serious damage with an elemental projector. That is why we're using the elemental projector. Pearl is cool, but you can't get area effect damage on a Pearl unless you're modding it. So elemental projector, Victory Rush. I'm using action skill cooldown rate, magazine size, and area effect damage. Area effect damage being the most important thing, and elemental projector being the second most important thing. Give me a ton of damage, especially with radiation, which is our main element. And very lastly, the It's Piss is being used. You can't do bonus radiation. If you put any other ASE on your shield, you're going to kill yourself. So bonus radiation and It's Piss with grenade throw. Lastly, splash damage is the go-to anointment. Things like consecutive hits are cool. Things like ASE weapon damage, things like next to mags are all cool. But 200 splash is just awesome with this build. We're going to be going kind of like a full splash, full nuke build. It works really, really well. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys learned something new. If you did, be sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. This build can be found in the Discord. If you join the Discord, you can download it. And yeah, that's about it. Guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!